Okay, we are here. Good morning. Happy Friday, folks. Another beautiful opportunity to get after it, make some money, hopefully. We'll see today. We're going to do a little walk through the market, talk about what we see here, what we've got going on. If you're new here, my name is Forrest. I invest stuff. I'm a day trader. Oh, I can hear myself twice for some reason. Whoa, turn that off. Turn that off. Don't need to hear myself twice. Who we got in the chat here? We got Carbs, we got Divine, we got SMK Prabhu, we got SK Prakur, 1989, Kirthana, good morning. Muthukumar, good morning. Paolo, good morning. Conquistador, good morning. To people watching elsewhere, good morning. Today is the last day to participate in the giveaway, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the chat here in a second. But let's get my big ass face off the screen and go ahead and look at the markets. All right. Our two beloved tickers, NQES. Let's go ahead and hop out to the daily, of course. I know it's about 10 o'clock, but always want to start a conversation that we have framed correctly. I do want to have a conversation with you guys. I don't want to just preach to you. So if you have questions, please ask them in the chat. Definitely want to get those answered as well. That's cool. Whew. All right. So ES and NQ on the daily. NQ is holding this 23,421 area, right? So this was my macro target from really last week. This entire week, we hit the target on Monday, remember, right? So this was Monday. You can see it on the screen. And we kind of have refused to break this high. So I talked about this a little bit earlier. Because we hit the macro target, we should expect, right, either immediate continuation or consolidation. You guys know this intuitively. You've seen this on every time frame, right? The market makes a wave. You're either going to get another candle immediate after continuation, right? Some very bullish action, or it starts to consolidate. On the daily time frame, this consolidation will take days, right? So makes sense that this week has been muted, but really it's just we hit the macro target. It's chilling. We do have another target above us, 24,497. Okay, so I do expect us to make our way up there and probably do a similar kind of, we'll reach out, we'll get to it, and we'll consolidate again. On ES, I could do some measurements here. Actually, we finally have some structure to measure off of. It's a little bit better on ES, so we'll go from this unbroken bar to this unbroken bar, to a little measurement here, and ES measure move gets me about 64.91. So we'll go ahead and put that up here on the charts, whatever, close enough, and we'll say measured move higher. Cool, so that gives us our measured move on ES. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the giveaway form for you guys, get that going for you. Drop that in the chat, copy the link, and there you go. You want a chance at a giveaway. So let me turn on our visible range, volume profile, get rid of these. All right, so we're kind of staircasing higher on the daily. We're consolidating here. It's Friday. Obviously, the weekly candle is going to close. I talk about this all the time, but you want to measure these candles and ask yourself, what makes sense? Okay, this price action makes sense. We're very unlikely going to get an exceptional bar. Okay, if we take a look at the VIX, we'll open the VIX on the left side of the screen. Okay, the VIX is low right now. VIX is down to 15. Okay, we finally left the 17 area. The VIX is going lower. So a lot of people talk about the direction of the VIX. The VIX is going down, market's going up. Yes, but the VIX, the actual level of the VIX, the numerical nominal value of the VIX is low. So volatility is decreasing. We should expect days to be less volatile now than they have been previously, even at the 17 level, at the 18 level, the 19 level, okay? So as volatility decreases, you should expect less extreme price action. Okay, a volatile move in this current market would likely be the market coming off very quickly, but you can get a spike in the VIX with a fat up candle. That is possible, right? On the upside, it would probably be some regulatory announcement. On the downside, it would just be, honestly, just like a random sell-off. But you can get a spike in the VIX and an increase in an upward move. But right now, we should just expect more muted days. Okay, that would be exceptional. We should expect more muted days right now. Let's get ES back open on the left side. So my expectation for today isn't really much. We're in this range here. We might crack this high and push a little bit higher, move towards 23.5 ish today. I would not be surprised actually if we swept prior day low though and just came back up and pinned at POC today. Okay, I would not be surprised at all. So I have very muted expectations this week in general. Not really taking very few trades this week. It just makes sense to rein it in this week after the macro move. Next week, and write this down, okay, guys, because I'm pretty confident settlement open Sunday is probably going to be a mover. It's going to be my prediction right now. We'll just write it down on the screen so we can come back to this, see how good I am. Settlement open Sunday will probs be a mover. Why? Well, because we haven't been moving for days. This weekly candle tapped itself out, and the next weekly candle is going to be ready to move. Okay, that is my estimation. Rajamani, what's up? Welcome to the party. If you're here, go ahead, like the stream, please. Help a brother out this beautiful Friday. Getting after it. A lot of stuff has changed in the prop firm world. Interestingly enough, my also look a little yellowish right now. I'm gonna change my ISO. Hold up, guys. A little yellowed out. A little like I'm ill, kind of. Maybe. I'm sick with it. It's a little better. Whatever. So My Funded Futures with their new accounts. Let's take a look at what's up with the My Funded Futures. These new accounts, actually. Let me look at their announcement. Let's do a quick little review of My Funded Futures. And we'll do this in a separate screen here. Let's see. Is it on their website? They did update it on the website. Okay, let's take a look, guys. Let us take a look. I need to figure out a way to add this onto the stream. So this is going to be this screen. Boom. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what we want. Let's get my... Let's lock that in place. Let's lock that in place. Let's unlock that. And let's take a look at it. Boom. Right there. You guys can see that probably. Don't know where it is on the vertical stream, but go to myfundedfutures.com, take a look. All right, so obviously I think that the expert accounts at MyFunded Futures were the best accounts in the prop game. That doesn't necessarily exist anymore. This is my first time actually looking. I've been so busy, guys, running the business and everything like that. I've had no time to look at these. So let's take a look right now. The charts, I guess we'll put these side by side. There's not much going on in the market just yet, right? We're approaching 23,421. I'll let you guys know if something happens. But in terms of prop accounts, right, because I know a lot of you are prop traders. I give away my fund futures accounts. It's important to talk about this. Prop firms give you leverage. Okay, leverage is very important in trading. Asymmetric returns are very important in trading. Futures technically are a linear product. you could dynamically change your leverage to get more money out of any individual trade. So they have, what is this, the scale, core, and pro accounts. Not really sure what the difference is between these. I imagine the scale accounts have scaling levers. There's a scaling rule, something with micro scaling. Your best trade may not exceed 50% of your profit, and there's a consistency rule. So don't really like consistency rules. I think they're good barriers for new traders, but if you're someone who's been trading for a while, I would avoid consistency rules. Just in general, there's an eval consistency rule on the core, eval consistency rule on the pro as well. So it looks like your best trading day may not exceed 50% of your profit in the evaluation. Wait, what? Your best trade may not exceed 50% of your profit in the evaluation. Not sure what that means. Eval to live. Yeah, I need to actually see how they explain this. I don't think there's enough information. They still have the old plans, I think, until the end of the month. Yeah, so I would snag some expert accounts before these disappear. I think pretty soon would be my opinion. And then I need to dig into what is up with these new products. I don't know what the consistency rules are. Means that the max you can make in a day is $1,500 on an eval. Yeah, so they're slowing you down on the evals, which, I mean, is fine. The only problem, like, technically you shouldn't try to pass the accounts in one day. That's not my issue with these. I just want to make that clear. Like, you shouldn't be full tilt, like, trying to pass any prop account in one day. That's not the issue with consistency rules. The issue with consistency rules is that they don't account for the fact that some days are big days, right? And that trading, especially in a personal account, I've been trading my personal account for like 8 or 9 years now, guys, right? Traded a few prop firms because I think they're good tools. The thing is, as a real trader, you should not be trying to make the same amount of money every single day. This is not realistic. You should be thinking of it like poker, where you are, you're basically paying to play until you're dealt a good hand. And then when you're dealt a good hand, you leverage up, okay? That's what real trading is like. So your P&L you basically want small green, small green, small green, small red, right? Reduce your red days to flat, right? Try not to lose money, right? And then you should have days where you have your A setups where you're making, substantially more money in the long term. Once you develop as a trader, as a new trader, your goal is to be flat. Your goal with your P&L as a new trader is to not lose money. That's literally your goal as a new trader. If you can trade for 90 days, if you can participate in the markets for 90 days and your account balance is mostly flat, that means that moving the needle even just a little bit is going to make you profitable. So the issue with consistency rules across the board is that it's not realistic. Okay, $1,500 is arbitrary. If I'm trading one in Q, I mean, that's 75 points, which is, nothing when you're trading in Q, right? You make 75 points just about any trade. So VIX is going lower, so the days are getting smaller, but you guys get my point. So yeah, I need to see kind of what they're thinking with that. High leverage gamble trades to one trade pass, I'm assuming. Yeah, they're stopping that. Bro, when those old plans go, I think they'll have trouble because not everyone is favoring the new stuff. Maybe. I mean, that's capitalism. They'll have to adjust. It's up to Matt. I'm sure that they made these changes either because they think they'll make more money or they were paying too much out or something, right? Prop firms are in the business of, at least most internet prop firms, right? They make their money off of evals. It is what it is, which I'm not against. I think some people hear that and like, oh, it's like, I don't really care about that. I mean, if you didn't realize that was the case, welcome to reality. The only thing that really matters is not their motivations or incentives. It's our motivations and outcomes as traders. That's the only thing that matters. Is they got to run a profitable business. if the account sucks, we don't have to buy it, right? So as a trader, we just got to look at it and say, okay, does this work for me? Think by far TPT has become my only prop that I trade now. Their daily payouts and no consistency rule when funded is a game changer. What's up, Shane? Welcome to the party. Yeah, TPT instant. The only thing with TPT is they add the trailing once you pass, but they are great. So ton of options there. I would snag some pro accounts while you can, but I'm gonna get this off the screen. We don't need this anymore. Cool. So back to the markets. Let's go ahead and characterize the market really quickly. I forgot to do this, right? So we are in a slight uptrend. We have a low. We have a few lows here. Okay, lows are going higher, so we have higher lows, right? Clear uptrending. Okay, so we've got kind of two lines there. Until we take one of these out and break that, we are technically still uptrending. We did fail to sweep this high though, so this Friday is going to be interesting. ES, you can see, kind of has like a head and shouldery pattern on here, right? Which I just interpret as weakness. I don't really play out head and shoulder patterns kind of ever, to be honest. But I do think that this is a sign of weakness. You can see how this pattern can fail pretty substantially right here. This is a good example of a head and shoulders failure, right? Not really showing immense bearishness, right? You get the head and shoulders set up and then it just like bounces out of it, right? There's not really a good trade in here anywhere. The best trade here was actually it sweeping this low and you just going long, right, in the uptrend. So not necessarily looking for anything out of this other than near-term weakness, right? The market prepping to continue its major trend higher. Same here, right? It kind of looks head and shouldery, but it's really just ranging inside of this channel. So expectation for today, again, we might sweep prior day low and come back and pin around POC, or we could just grind higher and put in a little bit higher high end of day on this weekly candle. ES though, showing weak here in the morning. Let's check out the 4 hour. Yeah, not a ton of bias or anything interesting going on here today. So not the day to have a high number of trades in, okay, to be honest. If you're somebody who's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades already on the day and you're like trying to micro scalp or something, I would advise you to shut it down and go outside, right? I'm not going to stay on very long. My actual plan for today is I want to see what our pinning action is going to be. So probably around 1:30-ish, 2 o'clock. I'll see if there's a leg there, but we got to get away from the POC. If we have a strong D-shaped volume profile day, right, end of day will give us a nice mean reversion trade or even like a gamma trade, right? If you're not familiar with what my gamma trades are, it's literally just a mean reversion trade that I take on options, usually on Fridays, end of the week, where I can do essentially multi-time frames that the weekly candle is closing, the daily candle is closing. I mean, daily candle closes every day, but the weekly and the daily are closing, right? And that only happens once a week. And really a few times a month, or a few times a year, you get the monthly, the weekly, and the daily all closing. Those are the best gamma trades, right? So I look for mean reversion trades with a D volume profile. There's a lot of things to it. I've talked about it in a few videos, but those setups tend to be like the 20,000 percenters, right? The reason I look for them is they make a lot of money. So let's take a look at, actually, let's see if it'll let me. Oh, I'm not signed in. Malarkey. Open that back up. And copy this. There's a giveaway link, by the way. I'll do this here in a second. I'm going to do this giveaway in about 4 minutes. What was the thesis for Sunday Open? Big move. Missed it because YouTube gave me a dang commercial. Yeah, I got to turn those down. I have no idea how often those are. I haven't thought about it. I always take the mental note of like changing the settings. Then as soon as I finish streaming. I like race out of here. I forget. Uh, thesis for Sunday Open is because, and this is some stuff to write down. Okay, this is like, I'll just give you guys a shortcut after years of trading. Okay, so macro move is made on Monday. Okay, rest of the week is muted. Opening of next candle will be hot. Okay, so Monday we hit my macro target. Okay, 23,421 to the penny. You can see that this has become an extreme level of resistance in the market. So the market tapped out. It's really just consolidating. It's prepping for its next move. That next candle is going to be the next week's candle, right? So settlement open, I anticipate we're going to have a pretty big move at that open and into Monday. I think settlement and then into Monday, essentially replaying kind of how this was. We're going to have a lot of next week's candle formed, settlement, and then through Monday. That's my hypothesis. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. We'll see. I think that will be the case. Do we need to do anything for last week's giveaway? I wanted to make sure. Let me check. I don't think so. Let me check. Doing this. Alrighty. If you do want an account, please use the code that's up on the screen. Love it, appreciate it. Obviously, I get a kickback. But yeah, that's my expectation is for that move. And we can see how in the open here, right? The market gives you a lot of clues about what it wants to do on the day. And you can kind of reverse engineer by asking yourself some simple questions. How many times do we get a very slow open that then rockets? Sometimes. And then there's other questions or characteristics. It's Friday. Okay, the weekly's closing. ES is in this range. And so when you start to ask yourself, like, how many times have I seen this set up in this way at this time? You start to eliminate, possibilities. So I could see a grind higher today, right? But because we're very rangy and the support here is very strong, what that would look like would be ES attacking these highs and then NQ putting in these new all-time highs, right? That would be the confluence there. I could also see, because we have this low down here on ES, 63.91, I could see them put in a new higher low, okay? And come back and pin at POC here, right? So we still have our uptrend, but they come and attack some of these lows. Where is my volume here? I could see something like that. And on NQ, they would attack this low here. So muted day, not looking for much, essentially, on this Friday. Friday wasn't really the game changer this week. Wednesday was a solid. There's some solid moves there. And you can see it's just been choppy, but settlement open. I just sent them an email to check up on those accounts. Let's go ahead and do this giveaway. Has everybody entered who wants to enter? If you're on Instagram, you got to come to YouTube for the giveaway. Love you too, Melissa. What's up? What's up? All right. Let's give some free shit away. Let's give the people what they want. Pick 5. Can't pick 5, unfortunately. 4 was the agreement, and 4 it shall be. 4 it shall be. Hi, Forrest. How you doing? I'm doing well. What's up, Abhishek? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate the support. Old My Fun TV clan. Traders at Risk. What's up? What's up? Let's do this giveaway. So we're going to do this based off of emails again. Okay. Actually, we'll do it off of YouTube usernames. We'll just do that. Let me throw the thing on screen here. Hold up. I'll hook you guys up here. It's going to be this one. There it is. All right. So we got our names. They're all in here. Make sure there's no duplicates, no cheaters. Got a few duplicates in there. A few cheaters. Let me run this through. Remove any duplicates in this list. Let's see. I'm just putting the list in the chat. Make sure we don't get any duplicates there. ES just popped higher. NQ still holding 23,421. All right, here's a list with duplicates removed. Thank you. How nice of you. If only I could select them. Okay. All right. We're going to pick 4 and pick random names. Appeared twice. I thought I removed these already. Hold on, folks. Oh, copy the bottom. All right, hold on. Don't count that drawing. Okay. It's the wrong list. The real winners. This is why you don't do this on stream. You gotta clean it up. Carbs, Divine Orhill, and Parvati 8996 are our cleaned up list of winners. Let me send. Let's take a screenshot of this, and I'm just going to put it in. Put it in. This document for later. Oh, it did not let me put that in the document. All right, well, I've got the list of winners. Thank you for your participation in today's giveaway. All right. Enough of that. All right. ES pushing higher, NQ pushing the highs. Divine says if I want to give it to someone else. All right. Let's take these people out the list then, and we'll do one more. All right. So who are our winners again? Let me open up the screenshot. We're going to take Carbs out of the drawing. We're going to take Divine out of the drawing. We're going to take Orhill out of the drawing. And we'll take Pavarthi out of the drawing. Do one more. And SMK Prabhu is the last winner. Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations. First list, that wasn't a valid drawing, unfortunately. I had duplicates. I made a mistake. You're gonna win. You're gonna win, my brother. The odds are exceptionally high between 17 viewers and drawing 4. Come back next week. I can't guarantee you'll win, but statistically, before the stream, gets to like 100 people or something like that, your odds are very high. It's almost guaranteed you'll win at least one drawing. Okay, nonetheless, thank you, folks. And I'm gonna turn this off. That's not what I wanted. Boom. Cool. All right, drawings finish. What accounts will be starter plus or scale? I don't know. I gotta ask them what they're gonna do now since they switched the accounts. I actually have no idea. I haven't the faintest clue what it'll be now. It's a good question. So ES popped out of VAH. NQ still holding 23,421, right? So you can see this rangy market continuing to range. POC did move higher, so we might get this end of day pop up higher that I mentioned, right? It just stays choppy all day. Nonetheless, that is it. I will leave y'all with something motivational, right? So I started reading a book called The Gap in the Game. Okay, I read it once before, but if you measure your life, okay, let's do a little bit of, let's assume that this is your, okay, guys, this is your starting point in life, okay? It's your starting point in life right here. You guys see that? Let's make the text a little bit bigger for you. That's where you started, okay? This right here is your ideal outcome, right? Ideal lifestyle, etc. Okay? So right here, this distance right here is like the gap. It's the gap that you want to fill in life, right? And trying to fill this gap creates anxiety, creates self-doubt, right? Makes you feel bad about yourself, right? And let's assume that right here is, okay, this is how much you've already accomplished, okay? And so what a lot of people do, this is the difference between the gap and the gain, is that they measure, right, from here to here, right? They live in this gap. Their entire life is thinking about what they have not accomplished yet, right? This is how much they've accomplished, and they only ever measure, okay, the difference between where they are today and what they want to have, right? Ideal lifestyle, ideal girlfriend, ideal car, ideal bank account, ideal, aesthetics. They're always measuring this, right? And the outcome of measuring this, again, is going to be, okay, anxiety, okay, self-hate, okay, and just being unhappy, okay? And if you probably guess where I'm going with the rest of this, if your brain's on, if you measure this, you can see how far you've come, right? So the result of measuring the gain, okay, so this is measuring the gap, okay, and down here is measuring the gain. It's a very simple concept, right? You don't have to read the whole book to get it, though I highly recommend you guys read the book. But you should measure the gain, right? And when you live in the gain and think about what you've accomplished, right? Gratitude, happiness, contentment. Okay, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep striving for this up here. Okay, it's not what it means at all. It just means that if you're a high achiever, someone who's done a lot, right? You have a house, you've made $1 million, you do all these things that all these people do. This is what a lot of people do, right? I live in Miami. I'm in the epitome of people who live in this, right? All they live in is this gap, right? And I even felt successful to it, right? Everything that I have today was beyond my dreams at one point. Okay, when I first left the college, I just wanted to make $100,000 a year, right? Then I hit that. Then I made $500,000. Then I was making $500,000 every year. Then I cracked $1 million, right? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger because what I knew that I could achieve became bigger, but I never felt happy. I never felt like, I did a good job. That's because I was living in the gap. And so a good way to practice gratitude, if someone says, hey, you should have more gratitude, is actually to do that tactically. What that can actually look like is think about where you started and what you've accomplished, right? Just give yourself some grace, right? Appreciate what you have, appreciate the time that you have. If you're in good health, appreciate the health that you have, right? And keep going after the rest of it. So just wanted to leave you guys with that today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, share the channel with a few people. I appreciate you taking some time with me on this beautiful Friday, and I'll see you in the next stream.